Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Manila Bay Region Kalikasan Muna Congress. This event is brought to you by the Green Party of the Philippines, Aksyon Kalikasan, Manila Bay Region Department of Environment and Natural Resources, ENIA, Rotary Club of Alabang Madrigal Business Park, Pro-Earth Crusaders, Masungi Geo Reserve, Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition, EDGE TV, Solusyon Permaculture, ASEAN Youth Organization, the Rotary Club of Pasay Marina, ako at ang Kalikasan TV, Bayanihan para sa Kalikasan Movement Inc., Kalikas, Kabataan para sa Kalikasan.
Sikoy ko kamighimo to langit. Sikoy ko kamighimo to aldaw bulan. Ikaw ang nagbuhat sa kabituunan. Ikaw ang nagbuhat sa kalibutan. Manama, mawantog ka. Warag po ko ilingkoy ko. O Diyos, kahibulungan ka. Busa ikaw lang ang simbahon ko.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم آمين يا رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم اجمع شمل المسلمين والكريستيان والأمة في مدينة دباو وسلم دائما مجتمعنا هذا بالسلم والأمن والتقدم في بلدنا هذا آمين يا رب العالمين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today to praise and worship you and give you thanks for all the things you continue to provide for ourselves and our families. Father, we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the times we have offended you, when we forget to acknowledge your presence in the image of our brothers and sisters, and for moments we fail to be good stewards of the blessings you have given us. Continue to guide and protect each one of us, Lord, that we may always walk in the lights of your everlasting love and mercy. Grant us, Father, with your comfort in times of distress and with your strength in times of weakness. Bestow upon us your unending grace and healing, that we may in turn become instruments of gentleness and compassion to others. We ask all this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, with the prayer and the intercession of our Blessed Mother. Amen.
Manama, mawantog ka. Warag po ko ilingkoy ko. O Diyos, kahibulungan ka. Busa ikaw lang ang simbahon ko. Busa ikaw lang ang alagaran ko.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Again, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the Manila Bay Region Kalikasan Muna Congress Day 1. A bit of our house rules for today. First, please mute yourself while on the event. Raise your hand to ask questions or type it on the chat during the open forum portion. Avoid personal and derogatory questions or comments. When sharing an experience or opinion, be direct to the point. Turn on your video when speaking live. Also, please format your name as name of your organization or school dash your name. And to begin today's event, please welcome our host, Mr. Raymond De Castro Gonzalez, EDS TV Philippines and GPP Secretary General.
Hello guys. Good morning. Sorry guys, I thought I hit the unmute. Anyway, good morning. So excited about our isang makabuluhang araw. This is a 2-day event. Kaya isang maganda at makakalikasang umaga sa inyong lahat. And we are excited about this 2-day event. At maraming salamat po sa mga nag-participate, sa lahat na narito na. And sit back, relax, at marami pa tayong matututunan ngayong umaga. At syempre, salamat sa iyo, sir, ating presidente, at ang syempre ang technical support and all around guide, pinaka-ehemplo ito ng passion and consistency si Sir David De Angelo. Pero syempre, we'd like to welcome you guys to the first ever, kauna-unahan nito na Manila Bay Region Kalikasan Muna Congress. Ayan, brought to you by the Green Party of the Philippines, Kalikasan Muna, and in cooperation with the following partners. Okay, pasalamatan natin muli the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or the DENR, Action Kalikasan, Masungi Geo Reserve, Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition, Pro-Earth Crusaders, Rotary Club of Alabang Madrigal Business Park, District 3830 Zone 10A. Edge TV Philippines, Birdland Care Commune, Solution Permaculture, ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines, Kalikas Green Youth Philippines, Bayanihan para sa Kalikasan Movement Incorporated, at ako at ang Kalikasan TV or AKTV. Yan, sit back guys and be ready with your coffee and with everything else, no? And of course, mga notes natin dyan. But don't forget to absorb everything that we are, the group, I mean, this event and our coalition, I mean, this collaboration will be sending out to you. Share ngayon. So salamat sa inyong lahat at syempre to keep us, to give our welcome address, syempre ang ating presidente at ang pinaka-passionate nga sa lahat. No? Hindi matatawaran ang kanyang passion and love for this activity, but is advocacy, isang napakalupit na na Earth Defender. Welcome to our day one, ang ating presidente ng GPP. Kalikasan muna, Sir David D'Angelo, ang isang vlogger, isang influencer, isang gamer, host, and earth lover.
Maraming salamat. Thank you, Sir Raymond De Castro Gonzalez, and welcome to everyone to our first ever Manila Bay Region Kalikasan Muna Congress. In behalf of the Green Party of the Philippines, we would like to welcome everyone to this event. This is our first ever Manila Bay Region Kalikasan Muna Congress, and we would like to thank you all for coming today. We have a bit of a problem with sharing the stream on Facebook, but we are now live on YouTube. Magsishare lang po ako ng konti kung ano po ba ang Green Party of the Philippines. Okay. The Green Party of the Philippines, GPP Kalikasan Muna. So we are, ladies and gentlemen, we are an independent and autonomous emerging green political party guided by the Kalikasan Muna ngayon na manifesto. The party recognizes its humble roots as the result of the Green Governance Project of Action Kalikasan. Kaya po palagi namin kasama sa mga events ang Action Kalikasan. They are our main allied and partner organization. GPP and Action Kalikasan share the same vision of a green Philippines of the empowered, for, and by the Filipino people. Iisa po ang aming panawagan, environmental first or kalikasan muna ngayon na. At the moment, the party, this emerging green party, is organized in 15 regions, 31 provinces, and 162 cities and municipalities nationwide as of July 31, 2021. So we are inviting everyone to join the party because this is a party for everyone. It is not a party of personality politics, but a party, but a green party. It's not left, it's not right, it's not red, it's not yellow. Ito po ay luntian. Green lang talaga. The party operates on a 10-point green agenda, starting with climate emergency action, organic safe food and food security, biodiversity conservation and sustainable habitats, sustainable forest cover, swift shift to renewable energy, ecological solid waste management and pollution control, greening human settlements, a national moratorium on mineral mining, sustainable development by green governance, and full protection of people for self-determination towards sustainable development. So for more information on the Green Party of the Philippines, you can visit us at greenparty.ph. You can also connect with us on various social media, Instagram, Twitter, at greenparty.ph, or send us a message, advocacy@greenparty.ph. And you can also join and register www.greenparty.ph/join. Ang Manila Bay Region Kalikasan Muna Congress po ay hindi naman about sa Green Party of the Philippines. Ito po ay tungkol sa nakikita natin at mga solusyon na sama-sama po nating bubuuin para sa Manila Bay Region. Kaya nga po, yung 2-day event na po na ito, lalo na bukas, ay aalamin natin ano ba yung mga pulisiyang pwede natin gawin at ano ba yung mga experience at solusyon na nakikita natin pwede naman nating tularan. Kaya marami pong salamat and I hope na magkaroon po tayo ng isang fruitful at meaningful na araw. Again, good luck to all of us. Sir Raymond, salamat po.
Okay, sorry. Medyo, thank you so much, sir. David, ang ating presidente, very passionate. And we are going to introduce, to give us, no, itong mga, teka lang ha, medyo, hindi tayo sanay sa virtual. But anyway, we have to pivot. And guys, introducing to you our member, okay, na magbibigay sa atin ng introduction to the event program, purpose and objectives, introducing our party secretary and LGBTQ plus convener for GPP Kalikasan muna. Ano iba kundi si Sir Jeff Ramos.
Okay, hello. Naririnig na po ba ako?
Yes po, Sir Jeff, naririnig ka na.
Ayan, okay. Again, huli po magandang makakalikasang umaga po sa ating lahat. Narito po tayo upang magtipon-tipon at pag-usapan ang kagalingan ng ating kalikasan. Narito po magbibigay lang po tayo ng kahapyaw na background kung bakit nabuo ang konseptong ito at kung saan tayo patungo sa 2 araw na pagkikita-kita dito sa ating seminar. Okay, babasahin ko lang po yun na ihanda nating presentation. It was 49 years ago when United Nations Conference on the Human Rights Environment held Stockholm, Sweden. This was the first UN major conference on the issue of environmental adapted Stockholm Declaration and action plan set on principles on preservation and enhancement of human environment. Okay. So ito po yung kauna-unahan. After 20 years, the historic Earth Summit held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 1992, United Nations pursued all the countries to rethink economic development to find ways to stop polluting the planet and depleting natural resources. It adopted the official global natural consensus on development and environmental cooperation called Agenda 21. This agenda meant to reflect the international consensus to support the national strategies plans on sustainable development. Agenda 21 called for all United Nations members to participate in improving, protecting, and better managing ecosystem and taking common responsibility for the future. So diyan po tayo nagti-take off. Tapos agenda adopted the Earth Summit to reflect the global consensus. Yes, yan po. At patuloy na siyempre dumadami. Sa Philippines, meron tayo Agenda 21 is the nation's blueprint for sustainable development and concreting the vision. It describes a path for individual, families, households, and communities, an action plan for which ecosystem and across ecosystem consideration of the interaction of various life scales and landscapes to be found thereon. So sa Philippines din po, meron din tayo Agenda 21. Philippine Agenda 21 promotes harmony and archives sustainable and emphasizing a scale of interaction that is primary area-based. The national and global policy environment builds upon and support area-based initiatives. Integrated island development approaches were applicable. This recognized the archipelagic character of the Philippines, which includes many small islands and provinces. People integrity and national for central development initiatives. This implies the strength of roles in relationship and interaction between among stakeholders in government, civil society, labor, and businesses. basic sectors have an important role in play in achieving equality and managing ecosystem that is life sustainability. Okay, forward tayo. Okay, forward lang para sa so ano ang meron tayo ngayon? Our country is facing massive environmental problems. The whole ecosystem is collapsing and it affects not just the human but also the wildlife. Water and air pollution, deforestation, land mining, conventions, La Nina and El Nino, it worsens than we expected. All these environmental dilemmas are still existing. Then COVID-19 came and created another devastating world history. This another emotional story. Have we learned? Is resiliency enough for this dreadful dilemma? And once again, failure is not yet to come to gather and keep what is left and to recreate what we had lost. Taking positive actions today, it's not just saving our lives, but the generations to come. Okay, in the Philippines, many environmental organizations emerged then gone. Also, many well-known political personalities and celebrities ride on this bandwagon of pro-environmental or environmentalist level of fame and popularity. There were some serious activists but gone down by those politics who favor for business advancement and personal interest. Yes, the problem still exists and got worsened. We experienced Typhoon Haiyan, known as Super Typhoon Yolanda, one of the most powerful tropical cyclones and deadliest typhoons ever recorded, killed over 10,000 people. Then Typhoon Goni Rolly, and then many other in the history. So anong gusto nating makita today? So we gather today to know the current problems of the Manila Bay region, to know the current projects and activities that are being done to solve issues in the region, to create a policy draft, legislative ordinance, and to put an action goal output. Be suggested for purpose of local policy ordinance, municipal, city, and provinces, just bullet points, suggestions that short description, no need to put into details and create an actual ordinance policy paper. So, and the rest, possible inaction, recommendation, and best practices that we can replicate and we can learn. So yan po ang ating ini-expect for today. At sana ito ay ma-achieve natin within the given time. Though limited lang tayo, but of course, we have all the minds here na nagsama-sama tayo to have this event come. Ayan lang po at maraming salamat po ulit.
All right, thank you so much, Sir Jeff. Very, very well said. Ayan, alam na natin, for the next 2 days, no po, tayo ay mag-uusap tungkol sa mga bagay-bagay paano natin ito. Katulad ngayon, we are going to, Sir David, diretso na tayo sa roundtable discussion natin onto the business of things.
Yes, sir.
All right, so get ready guys, to learn about the current environmental situation, okay, all the difficulties and the challenges, and to be part of this, syempre, to be itong ating pong mga kasama sa ating roundtable discussion, presenting to you the first batch of our distinguished guests of honor, okay, Lou Gaprela, Upper Marikina Watershed Corps campaigner. Also, we have Rosel Morales, Communications and Project Associate for Masungi Geo Reserve. Okay. Mr. Precious E. Velasquez, President of Action Kalikasan Sociology from the PUP, Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Okay. Experiences niya, Advocacy Officer sa GIP Pasig Movement Incorporated. Staff, okay, ng City Environment and Natural Resources Office, San Juan City, Environmental Management Committee, Pasig River Rehabilitation Commission Vice Chair, TWG, Bioremediation Project, and affiliations po ay kapisanan ng mga katutubong mamamayan ng Marikina, Regional Director, and okay, guys. So, are we gonna hit we're gonna start it now. Okay. Kasi na, medyo limitado yung aking screen dito. Okay, so Sir David.
May we ask our panelists to please turn on their video screens so that yeah, so that way I can highlight you.
Okay, so yung mga questions, and for those who want to engage, no, meron naman tayo dito chat. Shout out sa ating 38. We are all 38 right now here in the Zoom meeting. Once again, we'd like to call on our distinguished guests for the roundtable first batch, the first roundtable discussion. Lou Japuela, Rosel Morales, and Precious Velasquez.
Okay, welcome everyone, and we will have a presentation for each of our panelists for today. We will start the presentation with, tama ba ako? Masungi? Razel, ikaw ba mauna?
Magandang umaga po sa lahat. This is Rosel Morales from Masungi G Reserve. Sa pagkakaalam ko po, yung mauuna na magsasalita ngayong araw is si Lou
Okay.
Gepwala ng Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition. Tapos susunod
Okay.
po.
Thank you, Razel. Lou, take it away.
Hi, good morning. Can you put up my presentation, please? Thank you.
Okay, sige. Ako na. Sandali lang.
Actually, ako na lang. I'll do it myself now.
Naka-allow naman siya. Okay.
Okay, one moment, please. Do you see my screen? Okay, so good morning. This is Lou. I'm with the Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition. Is my volume okay?
Yes, Sir Lou. Your volume is okay.
Thank you. So, sino ba kami sa Upper Marikina Watershed and bakit kami mahalaga? For starters, we are a coalition of 80 organizations, and we are here to help protect and conserve the Upper Marikina River Basin Protected Landscape. I know medyo mahaba yung pangalan, pero it's a very important part of our ecosystem here. And to be honest, it's bigger than Manila, and it's very important because it does a lot of things for Metro Manila. It also helps make sure that we are not flooded, and we will show you later bakit mahalaga din na dapat pangalagaan itong lugar na ito. So, as I said, it is a protected area, malapit sa Rizal. It's also the drainage basin for the Marikina River. And halos kasali siya sa loob ng mga LGUs ng Rodriguez, Baras, San Mateo, Tanay, and Antipolo City. So majority nito nasa province ng Rizal. Pero it's very important to Metro Manila, and I will show you why in this next slide. So, ito yung problema namin. Nakikita ninyo, wala nang puno doon sa baba, sa pictures, kasi pinuputol siya. And this should not be the case because this is a protected landscape. Wala dapat mga commercial businesses dito kasi it's an ecosystem that should be preserved. And at the same time, nakikita din namin may encroachments ng illegal squatters, may mga gumagawa ng quarrying, and so on. And this is the sort of thing that should not be taking place within a protected area under law. As you can see, ito yung picture na to. This is from the late Secretary Gina Lopez. And here we can see that wala na rin puno kasi pinuputol siya. And like I said, they should not be taking place within a protected watershed. So what we are doing is, with the coalition, we are asking the president to issue an executive order or a proclamation or some other official document, making sure that the existing MPSAs or mineral production sharing agreements should not be happening within the protected area, within the watershed. Because if this happens, it is useless, because the reason why you have a watershed is to make sure that it stays in its natural state and to also make sure that it is protected from these things. Kasi kaya nga, the reason why you have a watershed is to make sure, number one, hindi babahain ang Metro Manila. Kasi kung may puno dito, hindi aabot yung tubig mula sa bundok sa Metro Manila at sa Marikina. Pero kung pinuputol yung puno, kung kinakalbo yung lugar, mababaha talaga yung Metro Manila dahil pinapabayaan natin ito. So for the next 5 minutes, I will be showing a video to show you what we are doing, and we are asking for your support and your help. We hope you'll be able to join us. One moment, please.
Thanks, Lou, for the
Wait lang,
presentation.
let me show my my video.
videos here. Okay.
Sorry.
Nakapag-share ka ng video, Sir Lou?
The vastness of nature, the beauty and grandeur of its scale, the fresh air it gives us, and all the endless possibilities it can offer. This is the Upper Marikina Watershed, home to endemic species such as the North Luzon hornbill and the Northern Luzon cloud rat. It protects Metro Manila and Rizal from natural disasters. Home to millions of Filipinos, including indigenous and rural communities. The watershed is in danger.
Mas malala pa sa bagyong Ondoy.
Kaugnay sa matinding pagbaha dahil sa Typhoon Ulysses.
Kailangan namin ng tulong dito. Nandito na po kami sa bubong.
May malaking epekto din daw ang quarrying sa pagbaha.
If an area is declared a watershed, would quarrying be allowed inside it? That will make all our efforts in protecting the area useless, di ba?
Sabi ni DENR Secretary Roy Simatu, dapat protektahan. Ang Upper Marikina River Basin ay naideklara ng isang protected landscape area nitong June 22, 2018.
Threats have increased rapidly. In fact, the forest cover is now only 10% to 20%. Thousands of hectares threatened by quarrying. Large-scale land grabbing and trafficking are increasingly reported, as well as continuous charcoal making, kaingin, and tree cutting. The 26,000-hectare watershed is on the line, an area 7 times the size of Manila. The endemic species are on the line. Our place to seek refuge, silence our thoughts, and recharge is on the line too. This home that protects millions of Filipinos. With all these threats, what's next? We now have a choice. A choice to do nothing or do something. That's why we have come together. The Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition, made up of 65 groups who want to protect this watershed. And we need you to join us today. By coming together, we can speak for the forests. We can choose to make this vast, vibrant landscape stay. A step that will go a long way for generations to come. We need you to speak up, to plant just one tree, to choose what's next. This forest belongs to the wildlife and to all 100 million Filipinos. Let's protect it together.
All right, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much, Sir Lou. Anything more, sir, to add before we segue to our other?
No, we're good now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul. Please welcome, okay, our representative from Masungi Geo Reserve, Ms. Russell.
Hello, magandang umaga ulit sa lahat. Let me just have a few seconds so I can set up my presentation. Okay. Okay, so muli magandang umaga sa lahat. Ako si Rosal Morales, Communications and Project Associate ng Masungi G Reserve at kasalukuyang Secretariat din ng Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition, kagaya ng shinare nga ng previous presenter. Today, I will be sharing about Masungi G Reserve's conservation action in sanctuaries during the pandemic. Okay, so ang Masungi G Reserve is a conservation area and a rustic garden tucked in the rainforest of Baras, Rizal. It is actually inside the Upper Marikina River Basin Protected Landscape as presented by the previous presenter. It is home to massive limestone formations and plant and animal species. The Masungi G Reserve in Baras, Rizal is dedicated to the conservation and restoration of the threatened landscape. So after 20 years of conservation efforts, birds and other wildlife are now starting to come back, and the secondary forest has emerged as a restored ecosystem. Here on the screen, you can see what it looked like in 1996 and in 2016. So makikita nyo naman na denuded or threatened talaga yung area, halos walang puno. And then we started our reforestation efforts at ngayon nanunumbalik na yung mga flora and fauna natin. Okay, so bakit ba ito important? We have to understand that a watershed is interconnected. Magkaugnay-ugnay po tayong, magkaugnay-ugnay. So kahit na nasa bulubundukin kami ng Upper Marikina Watershed, it still affects the ecosystem it still affects the ecosystem of Manila Bay because we are still part of the bigger ecosystem since water flows out to Marikina River or Pasig to Manila Bay. So Masungi is a part of the watershed. Okay, so I'm not gonna discuss this comprehensively. I just want to show you how everything is actually interconnected from the uplands where there are our primary forests. So kagaya ng sabi ng previous presenter natin, kung may deforestation na nangyayari nandito sa amin sa Masungi G Reserve bilang parte ng Upper Marikina watershed, naapektuhan yung lowland communities. Okay. So, ayan, ito yung mapa ng Marikina River Basin. Makikita nyo, nasa taas siya, nasa malaking parte siya na nag-i-include yung San Mateo, Marikina, Antipolo, Rodriguez. Pero minsan, hindi natin nakikita na pag bumabaha sa Marikina, yung kailangan natin tingnan ay yung nasa taas. So, yun yung nasa taas na bulubundukin. Okay? So, yun, that's why our reforestation efforts here in the karstland of the Upper Marikina River Basin Protected Landscape is very important. And yun nga, noong 2017, in partnership with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources or DNR, the Masungi G Reserve had a joint MOA to create the Masungi Geopark project. So we commenced to restore almost 3,000 hectares of degraded lands around the Masungi G Reserve. However, as mentioned earlier, and this is actually somehow similar to what the previous presenter shared, despite the prohibitions of the law such as the NIPAS Act, quarrying still persists in the Upper Marikina watershed where Masungi G Reserve is located. So On October 23, 2020, last year, naka-experience the area, our reforestation efforts are also threatened by land grabbing. And then I'm just going to show you the different threats that we face here on the ground. We are also facing illegal land conversion and unregulated development. So nakakapagtaka na kahit nasa protected area tayo, at prohibited yung mga ganitong development, nakakapasok sila kahit walang permit. Okay? Isa rin sa kinakaharap namin dito ay yung timber poaching and large-scale burnings. And because of our efforts to reforest the land, we also have to protect it from the threats that I mentioned, the burnings, those who have vested interest to their land. And with this job comes also the threat to our lives. So as in tagapangalaga ng kalikasan dito sa Upper Marikina Watershed, yon, kinakaharap namin talaga yung threats na to. May harassments, verbal, pero umabot na sa physical harassment and violence last July. So last July, 2 of the Masungi Reserve Foundation's forest rangers were brutally shot at their ranger station in the Upper Marikina Watershed. The perpetrators, who remained at large, are believed to be linked to illegal encroachments and developments inside the protected watershed area. And currently, we're still waiting for security support from the police and DENR. Kasi madami pang forest rangers natin ang vulnerable sa persistent harassments on the ground. So as we battle the worst impacts of destroying our wild places, such as zoonotic diseases like COVID-19 and the deadly floods and landslide brought by the climate crisis, such as during Typhoon Ulysses, let us not forget those at the front lines of all the battle to protect us all. So how can you help us? We are encouraging you to join our #ProtectOurRangers campaign. So you can help us in 3 ways. Number 1, make a statement. I'll share later on in the chat box a draft statement that you can adapt and you can edit to make it similar to the goals of your organization. And then you can donate to injured rangers. Napakalaki ng medical fees na binabayaran ngayon because the rangers are still recovering and syempre pandemic pa. So nagkapatong-patong yung challenges na kinakaharap ng ating rangers. So you can also opt to donate to them. And then third, you can show solidarity by using this Facebook frame. You can see on the screen sa Masungi Reserve na Facebook page namin ay meron kaming template ng Facebook frame that you can use so that we can raise awareness about this issue at mapakinggan pa siya ng madaming tao. I think that's it for me this morning. If you want to learn more about the campaigns that we're doing on the ground and how you can help us, you can contact us at trail@masungigeoreserve.com or people@masungigeoreserve.com. You can also follow us in our Facebook or Instagram @masungigeoreserve and Twitter. And of course, I would also like to take this chance to promote the coalition, which we are also part of, the Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition. So that's it for me today. Maraming salamat sa pag-imbita sa akin. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than willing to answer them later on.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Russell, for another eye-opener. No? And the last participant in our roundtable discussion will be the president of Aksyon Kalikasan Sociology PUP. And I mentioned already earlier yung kanyang credentials. Please, without further ado, let's all welcome Mr. Precious Velasquez for his presentation.
Thank you. Magandang umaga. Naririnig po ba ako? So, kung ako
Sir,
ay
sir.
naririnig, thank you dito sa pag-share. So, sa case ng Action Kalikasan, ang nais kong i-present sa atin ay yung challenges in terms ng communities and their participation. And there are 4 things na gusto kong share na sa atin ngayong umaga concerning this Manila Bay rehabilitation efforts. And itong 4 na ito, next slide please. That's it, thank you. So ang 4 na challenges na na-identify ko sa Action Kalikasan ito, no? Una, yung community environmental concern. Pangalawa ay yung public consciousness of the bigger reality surrounding them. Pangatlo ay yung rewards and incentives for public participation. At pang-apat ay yung unintentional, unconnected or fragmented pockets of efforts of all actors. So particularly and their initiatives. So isa-isahin natin ito. Next slide please. So una, yung community environmental concern. I think madali naman natin na mag-gauge, no? Ano nga, nasaan nga ba ang concern ng mga tao? So in my observation, having been in the environment for quite some time, ang problema sa mga mamamayan ay yung conflict. Seemingly there is a conflict and the need for reconciliation between yung economic needs and wants, immediate, and then yung long-term ecological needs na ating kinakaharap. Ano po? So it's like everybody is more on immediate economic needs. So ang aking naobserbahan, no, pag itong dalawang ito ay nagbangga, no, which is the everyday reality, hindi tinatalakay, no, hindi nabibigyan ng pansin karaniwan yung long-term ecological needs. And so you can see kung nasaan ba yung focus and attention ng mga tao. No? Now, there are so much if I can share about that. Pero it is something na we can all relate to. And not really that difficult things. You know. Next slide, please. Ang challenge number 2 is yung lack of public consciousness. No? So, yung awareness ng mga tao with what is going on, no? Around them, yung the bigger reality surrounding them. Ang specifically, I was surprised to learn, no, na yung mga residente ng Cavite ay hindi sila aware na mayroong Supreme Court continuing mandamus, no, for the cleanup of Manila Bay. And so, that's quite stunning on my end and also saddening. Kasi, ang alam ko, ang naghabla sa government agencies for the degradation of Manila Bay, ang nakalagay doon ay people of Cavite. So I was of the impression back then na not necessarily everybody, but a lot of people of Cavite would be aware. But that is not what it turned out. Kasi yung mga kasama kong mga taga-Cavite sa isang organization, and they belong to upper groups, hindi sila aware of the Manila Bay mandamus. Yung mga nasa ibaba din, yung lower economic strata, ay ganun din, hindi rin sila aware. No? Kasi right now, I'm connected with kami or yung kapsanan ng mga katutubong mamamayan ng mga Harlika, Calabar Zone. So may mga leaders kami doon mismo sa tabi ng Manila Bay. Pero hindi sila aware about the continuing mandamus. So that's a reality na naobserbahan at nalaman ko. Now, punta tayo sa next na tayo sa yan, challenge number 3 ay walang maliwanag na incentives to get the people participate into resolving the problem. It's like kung ikaw ay merong kumbaga bumukal sa puso mo yung interest mo sa pagmamahal sa kalikasan sa Manila Bay, then you get involved. Pero kung isang ordinaryo ka lang na mamamayan, wala kang malalaman, wala kang maririnig na merong mga incentives or rewards na if you will get into the efforts to rehabilitate Manila Bay. So yun yung isang problema. Kahit ikaw ay naka-NGO na registered sa Security Services Commission or kahit yung sa CDA. Sa CDA kasi, yung Cooperative Development Authority, ang mga cooperatives ay mayroon tinatawag na community concern. So you can ask, ano yung definition ng community? Yung community ba ay yung mga tao lang? O ang community ay connected doon sa kanilang ginagalawan na lupa at tubig o pati hangin? So, kung sila ay connected doon, kung kasama ba doon sa concern ng cooperative yung environment? In principle, it should be. Pero, you can see na, or we can actually observe na walang incentives for that. And so, parang ganun din yung dilemma ng mga cooperatives. Is it economic one versus the ecological concern? So, yun yung problema. Next slide, please. Sorry for the... So, ang pang-apat ay yung unintentional, unconnected or fragmented pockets of efforts of all actors. A reason kung bakit natalakay natin ito, a reason kung bakit napunta tayo dito sa Manila Bay region is that ang karaniwan na mga efforts ay localized, specific. Let me just take the example nung sa Masumi, saka yung upper Marikina Watershed. It is good to know na there are 65 organizations na nagtutulong-tulong para dito. I'm not sure kung connected dito si Green Convergence ang natulong. But I hope it is kasi bahagi naman siya ng Marikina Watershed. I suppose it is. But then, ang pinag-uusapan na ay buong Manila Bay region. So, ang Sagipasig movement in the past ay aktibo doon sa mga community-based na initiatives. I was the advocacy officer back then, so I am familiar doon sa mga efforts na yun. Pero dahil Manila Bay na, buong Manila Bay na yung pinag-uusapan, you can only wonder kung yung mga people as far as Neves, and then people doon sa Bataan, and then Laguna, ito ba ay nakikipag-ugnayan doon sa mga taga Masungi, no? Masungi Geo Reserve, no? Or kumbaga, well, bahala kayo, turf niyo yan, no? Dito lang kami sa turf namin. Kung sakali na magkita-kita yung efforts natin at nalinis natin yung Manila Bay, praise be to God, no? Thanks be to God, parang ganun yung nangyayari. So hindi walang kabuuan na connections yung efforts nung mga actors. No? In fact, pag pinansin mo rin ngayon, DNR is like acting on its own. And yet, hindi lang naman si DNR, no? Kasama din yung ibang mga mandamos agencies, DILG, so this is the government. Pero hindi lang din sila ang ang connected doon, no? Connected din doon yung iba't ibang mga sectors, no? And including the public, no? Napakahalaga kasi nung public participation. Napakahalaga ng mga communities. After all, kagaya nung pinapresent kanina, kapag may problema doon sa isang area, sa environment natin, ang isang apektado dyan na at the end of the day ay mga tao din. No? Hindi na nga natin iniisip kung namamatay pa yung mga people natin, no? O yung mga flora at fauna natin ay they being extinct, na nagiging extinct ba ito? Kumbaga, bahala na lang yung ilang mga specialized na agencies doon. But the common tao, no? Parang hindi na yun ang kanyang concern talaga. So yun ang isang challenge na kailangan natin ang pagpagpag. And there are a lot of things na pwede kong talakayin regarding that. Pero I think madali namang makita na ang kailangan magkita-kita at mag-usap-usap itong mga groups na ito, no? At ang concern doon ay sino ang mag-initiate. Should it be initiated ng government? No? Should it be initiated by the private sector? Should it be initiated by the communities, no? Yung third sector na tinatawag natin. In fact, pwede pang sabihin natin merong fifth sector, fourth sector, no? Na faith-based organizations. So yun yung ilan sa mga challenges na para magkita-kita, maging connected, no? Para maging isang continuum efforts para doon sa Manila-based rehabilitation. Kumbaga, magiging masaya yung kasama natin sa Masumi kung naprotektahan nila yung lugar na yun, yung upper Marikina Watershed. No? Pero pag bumaba ka naman sa Marikina River itself, ay midstream and downstream ay walang complementing efforts. No? Kumbaga, malinis sa itaas, pero sa gitna at sa ibaba ay marumi, no? Napapabayaan. So, kumbaga, what we should be seeing ay everything, no? At nagtutulong-tulong, nagkikita at nagkakausap-usap para doon sa kabuuan ng mga efforts, no? Hindi lamang yung Manila Bay, kundi yung bigger na environment. And next slide. No, that's important. So in summary, there are at least 4 challenges. No? One is reconciling yung immediate economic needs and wants ng mga tao versus long-term ecological needs. Secondly, there is a need to effectively raise public awareness on the bigger realities surrounding the people. At least for them to be aware of the Supreme Court continuing mandamus. No? Like, let me just bring this up. No? I wonder kung yung si Upper Marikina Watershed has the guts or has done anything, no? Parang question ko rin sa to drag Malacanang, no? Even PRRD. Pero sa PRRD kasi may immunity from suit. But Secretary Simatu, meron bang efforts, no, or attempt, no, or did it even bring, no, to find that i-call yung attention against doon sa mandamus? Kasi sa Supreme Court continuing mandamus, implementation of the environmental laws. No? So, ang pakakausapin, in other words, hindi lamang si DENR, kundi si Supreme Court. Kasi si Supreme Court ay inuutusan niya si DENR na implement yung environmental law. So if DENR is not doing its job to implement the law, then I think we can call the attention of the Supreme Court and say, hey Supreme Court, no, DENR is not doing its job, and here are the evidences. No? So something like that. Then pangatlo, part of the summary is for us to seek to have rewards, no, and incentives for public participation or involvement. No? Tomorrow merong, di ba, ang output ay gagawa ng mga policies. Ano? Probably this is one of the areas ng policy na pwedeng ma-craft, no? Na magkaroon ng incentives yung public participation doon sa rehabilitation of Manila Bay region. And maybe the whole of the environment, ano, kasi yung bagay na yan ay wala, at least on my end, no, I'm not aware of anything na gano'n. No? Walang initial, walang rewards, no? Walang incentives. It's like if you want to do it, because you are a good person, you are good people, do it. Sa government, binigyan ng government ng incentives ang business sa tax exemption, no? Kapag sila ay nag-import ng kanilang mga environmental technology, but the people, no, ay wala. No? And then pang-apat, no, is to intentionally connect pockets of efforts. No? Kasi talagang intentionally for us to see. Ang isang bagay kasi dyan is pag nalalaman ng ibang grupo yung success ng ibang grupo, nakaka-boost ng moral. No? Because you know na progress are being achieved. No? And somehow, the more we are connected, no, then the better our collaborations become. And yung effort, no, and pressure to the government and to the people, to everybody concerned, ay mas na-strengthen. No? So, itong apat na ito, yung mga challenges na nakikita namin na action Kalikasan. With that, I'd like to end my presentation.
Okay, Sir Chot, thank you so much for your presentation. And tama-tama, we have a little over 15 minutes para sa ating, we're opening the floor for questions. In fact, we already have. So these are questions that are geared sa ating mga presenters kanina. Siyempre, maraming salamat ulit. At Siyempre, open naman to answer our questions. Our Sir Lou of Upper Marikina, Watershed, and also we have Ma'am Rosel of Masungi Geo Reserve. So this is the open forum right now. And Sir David, meron na tayo ditong a couple of questions already. So, i-note it dito. Ano ba lalabas ito yun? Sorry, I'm not familiar with this, with Zoom. Batang StreamYard kasi ako.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to first congratulate the Upper Marikina Watershed for a very correct area approach. Tama yun, area approach. No? Ngayon, doon sa baba, yung sinasabi ni Chot, dapat area approach din. Dapat yung Manila Bay region should be divided into areas of concern, mga hotspot. Like Cavite, say hotspot doon sa may Cavite City, sa Bacoor, for example. Dapat mga ganun din. And then, I suggest that in the Manila Bay, yung mga LGU should be assigned specific areas at specific problems to resolve with the assistance of the DNR and the NGOs. So, yun lang. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Sir Emmanuel Astillero. So we have a question here. Teka muna, may reaction. Okay lang ba? Let's give way. Sabi dito ni Sir Raul Norbe. By the way, we are 52 in all now. So good to see you guys. Kita ko yung mga group, school and organization. So we're so thankful sa inyo. Especially we have young people here, a lot of Gen Z. Okay. Thank you, Sir Chot, sa mga ideas galing sa inyo. We need collaboration of ideas leading to innovations that has the capacity to show solutions to the problems of Upper Marikina, Masungi, and Action Kalikasan. Thank you, Sir Chot, including incentivize. Yeah. So we have a question from, from Lou, sir. Okay, from Sir Lou. How can you help us at the Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition? Okay, ito pala ay post pala to for our people who want to sign up, so, because we need a lot. We need a lot. Actually, malapit lang ako dito sa may boundary lang Marikina and Pasig. So we experience all the floodings here. So sana ay tulong-tulong tayo. So for questions, please, we're open for this open forum until 10:40. Until 11 pala. 15
Siguro
minutes.
one of the, Sir Raymond,
Yes, sir. Yes,
yung
sir.
sinabi kanina ni President Chot, parang questions directed at the Upper Marikina Watershed.
Yes, sir.
If Lou or Russell could answer yung tinatanong niyo, meron bang efforts daw to coordinate the mandamos? Tama ba ako doon sa question na ni-raise mo kanina, President Chot?
Yeah. Kasi by
Pwede bang, can you repeat the question para I think they could address it?
in principle kasi, pwedeng i-block, it's like i-slap the government agency for not doing its job kasi natalo na nga sila dyan sa kapabayaan ng DENR sa implementation ng mga environmental laws. And so, if Upper Marikina is seeing, beginning na talaga yung implement ng batas. So, bagamat merong Supreme Court mandamus. And take note, kung bakit merong Supreme Court mandamus. Kasi dati, kumbaga, bahala si DENR kung implement niya o hindi. Pag hindi, nakakasuhan siya ng administrative na kung merong magkakaso. Pero with the Supreme Court mandamus, it is the Supreme Court taking oversight whether DENR is doing its job and the DILG. So, ang pwedeng sampahan ng kaso dito, hindi lamang si DENR. Si DILG ay pwede ring sampahan ng kaso uli. So, well, I'm not sure kung sasampahan uli ng kaso. Basta kailangan na kumbaga ipapwersahin through the Supreme Court mandamus, dragging them back to court because of their failure to implement the law. So that's the idea. Kung meron bang efforts si Upper Marikina Watershed to do that.
Okay, thank you po sa question. We are aware po of the Oposa case and the Mandamos. Alam po namin yun. Pero yung approach po namin kasi dito, meron po tayong continuing engagement with DENR. Tumutulong naman po yung DENR through the Regional Executive Director. And nag-activate nga po sila ng task force para dito, yung task force Build Back Better. And yung ginagawa po nila with coordination with DILG, nagpapadala rin po sila ng tao dito sa lugar para makita na nila with their own eyes yung deforestation, yung illegal squatting, and so on. And sinasampahan naman po ng kaso, nag-a-arrest po dahil sa NIPAS violations, may show cause orders, mga gumagawa ng mga illegal settlements and illegal commercial activities. So, kausap naman po talaga namin yung DNR. And yung akin personally, not speaking for the coalition, pero personally, if we go the judicial route immediately, pag dumaan tayo sa kaso-kaso, natitigil tayo dyan eh. Matagal na usapan yan eh. And at the same time, it removes the goodwill that we already have with existing national government agencies. Kasi parang kapitbahay lang po yan eh. Pag binarangay mo kaagad, mag-aaway talaga kayo. Pero pag nadaan mo na sa madaling usapan, pag maayos man usapan ninyo, okay naman yung usapan. So we understand po yun, option rin po yun. Pero at the same time, may critical collaboration po muna tayo with DNR and other LGUs na rin. Thank you.
Just to add, if I may, since Masungiji Reserve is also part and currently acting secretariat of the Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition, I'll just add on what Lou already discussed. Yeah, we're collaborating as much as possible with a lot of actors, NGOs, CSOs, the government even. But of course, we petitioned them action ng Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition is to petition President Duterte to make the Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition quarry-free. So if I remember right, maybe Lou can share more on this. We already submitted the petition to the ANR, and then we have received already their response where they said started investigation or they started investigation tsaka nagpalabas na sila ng show cause order. So probably do follow us at the Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition na page for more updates from the part naman ng Masungiji Reserve. Actions, that's why we're also raising awareness kasi nasa taas po kami, minsan hindi kami nakikita na part kami ng ecosystem ng Manila Bay. So that's why we need everyone's effort also na nasa baba kasi for sure mas may contact kayo sa communities there to let them see the whole picture, which is that everything from the highlands reforestation efforts is connected to the water security and other issues sa lowland communities.
If I may respond sa response ng ating mga kasama. Thank you very much for those things. Those words shed light on what is concerning nandoon sa may taking them to court. There are just two things in mind right now. One is while there is truth doon sa kapag kinasuhan mo sila government agencies, parang nasisira yung good relationship with government. Pero actually, kasi narinig ko yung mga taga-government din. And there are two groups there. One is yung natutuwa na itinitimanda yung kanilang agency para makakilos. Kasi somehow, for some reasons, may mga tao doon na in good faith, hindi ka anong makagalaw because of the limitations na ini-impose ng agency sa kanila. Kasi nakita ko yan, narinig ko yan when I was working. And then, of course, you have the other group na they just want to be a part of the agency and doesn't want to do anything with that. Sa experience ng Mandamos, ang nakita ko doon is it doesn't necessarily ruin the relationship between civil society sector and the government. In fact, they just deserve it. No? Kasi kung hindi pa nga sila itinimanda doon sa Manila Bay problem na yan, hindi pa kikilos ng gusto kasi excuse nga ng DNR yan. Hindi naman namin mapipilit yung milyon-milyon ng mga tao doon sa pag-comply sa environment. No? Kaya napagalitan pa sila doon. So just to share with everyone. No? But we respect kung ano yung perspective at ano yung mga efforts na ating mga partner organizations who are struggling on the ground. No? So we support. And kay Canuel, if I may just say, yes, Canuel, I agree na yung localized efforts ay mahalaga. Unlike sa Cavite, meron tayong mga efforts yan. Ano, i-present ko later this up kung ano naman yung localized na efforts sa Cavite. No? Thank you, and I agree dito sa mga tinuran.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Sir Chot. If we have a raise of hand from Rosemary Mendoza, but before that, meron po kaninang mga questions dito. Okay, at 10:46, kanina pumasok. Inquire lang po from Raul Norbe to everyone. Okay, inquire lang po, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct if I'm wrong, ang problem ng Manila Bay is generally water pollution. Thanks po. Anybody who wants to? We also have another raise of hand. Pero mamaya po. Yeah. Anybody who wants to react to this or answer to this inquiry?
Pwedeng mauna na ako.
Yes, sir.
Well, ang problema ng Manila Bay ay parang sa problema ng katawan natin sa medicine. Kapag meron tayong nakikita na yung tinatawag na symptoms, ang proper na ang the best diagnosis bakit merong ganong sintomas. Halimbawa, may sugat, no? Dumudugo. Diba? So, nakita natin, may dumudugo, merong diwa. So that's the symptoms. No? That is not the problem in itself, no? Or that is not the problem alone. Of course, kailangan mo siyang resolvehan. So, sa treatment ng medicine, lilinisin, isasara yung pero the bigger problem is bakit merong nagmamanifest na sintomas. So, in the case ng Manila Bay, bakit merong water pollution? Bakit polluted ang tubig ng Manila Bay? Ang isang problema doon actually ay yung how do I kung paano natin i-implement yung laws of the land in protecting the environment. Yun yung lumalabas na isang problema. It's how we implement those laws, no? To ensure that we have a sound ecological environment. Kasi yun ang nakalagay sa Constitution. So, kapag nagkaroon ng failure, ang magiging resulta, pollution and degradation of Manila Bay. So, the real problem is yung implementation of environmental laws. So, yun yung sagot ko doon.
Okay, thank you, Sir Chot. Anybody else? Si Ma'am Razel or Sir Lou?
I defer po muna sa naka-raise yung hand. Kanina po sila.
Okay, sige po. Unahin natin, Ma'am Rosemary.
Oh, yes. Good morning, everybody. This is with reference to the previous question about water pollution. Kasi I think I agree with him that that one of the major problem is the integrity of water in Manila Bay. So my question and my issue here is, what is the extent of these efforts, particularly to the Marikina Watershed and the Masungi Geo Reserve? What is the extent of the effort in taking care of the water integrity, which is one of the major problems of Manila Bay? Kasi what I have been hearing earlier are about lawsuits and legalities. So I wanted to move on with the more technical source of the problem, which is the water integrity of Manila Bay. And tama naman si Chot na it's in the implementation. So my question is again, what is the extent of the implementation with respect to taking care of the water integrity in Manila Bay for the two speakers, Sir Lou and Ms. Russell? Thank you.
Thank you for that question. Before, I would like to answer that, of course, pero baka may sasabihin yung previous speaker. Lou?
No, I'll defer to you muna.
All right, thank you. Okay, so regarding the efforts, as what we have shared earlier, we're currently reforesting around 3,000 hectares of land here in the Upper Marikina watershed. So that's an ongoing effort of not only tree planting, but also tree nurturing, and then all year round of taking care of our trees. So part of the efforts of taking care of our forest, kasi you mentioned about water quality is as mentioned by Sir Chot earlier, going back to the root of the problem, 'di ba? Kasi downstream communities na yung some of the water na nanggagaling sa Upper Marikina, which we a parcel of it were reforesting, bumababa sa lowland community such as I mentioned earlier, Pasig, Marikina, and umaagos pababa pa ng Manila Bay. So, for us, our efforts on the ground is going back to reforesting our watershed, because the more trees that we plant in the upland, the lesser water flow yung bababa, especially during habagat or during typhoons such as Typhoon Ulysses or Typhoon Rolly, or di kaya yung or even before Typhoon Ondoy, na kasi our forests are our natural ano siya, nagdi-defend sa lowland communities. So, that also affects the water quality, of course, not only sa water flow, in terms of water quality, kasi natural filter rin natin ng water na bumababa sa lowland communities ang ating forests. Ayan. What about, maybe Lou can add on this, but yun yung current efforts namin ngayon, protecting the forest, and also ngayon, since na we are being attacked by those na may vested interest sa forest, we're also protecting our rangers currently. That's why we have #ProtectOurRangers campaign, kasi we can't protect the forest if we can't protect those who defend it or those who are protecting it.
Thank you, Ms. Rosal. Sir Lou?
I think add ko lang, sorry, very quickly lang. Si DNR has a specialized office when it comes to the Manila Bay Mandanas ruling. And yun dapat talaga yung trabaho nila. And I would like to call upon everyone here, please hold our officials accountable. Kasi may batas na nga po tayo, sabi ni Sir Chot, implementation and consistent implementation, yung talagang problema natin. So it has to come from all of us kasi lahat tayo may sarili-sariling LGU representation, taga San Juan ako halimbawa, i-pressure po natin, alamin po natin sa ating mga congressman at sa mga senators natin, pati na rin lalo na sa LGU, sa Senro and so on, anong ginagawa nila para dito. Kasi yung ruling yung OPOSA ruling, it applies to all LGUs as well, hindi na po sa DER. And lahat po dapat nagtutulungan para matapos itong problema nito. So, yun lang po. Let's hold everyone accountable.
Hey, thank you, Sir Lou. That's true. And we have another raised hand dito. Time check na, it's 11:01. Sir David, up to what time ba tayo?
Pwede ba,
last two questions?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Or pwede ba akong mag-respond doon sa tinura, yung kay Dr. May?
Okay, sir. Lang po.
Yung sa technical side of it, ang isa kasing problema dyan sa water quality, pinakamadaling makita yung solid waste. And so, kumbaga, isang pinaka-feasible na action din dyan is yung mga tao ay ma-prevent sila na itinatapon yung kanilang basura doon sa mga water bodies. We did a research back then commissioned by San Miguel Corporation. What we learned is that kahit na mayayamang bahay, kapag hindi nakokolekta ng tama yung kanilang basura, ang dulo niya, yung basura, kung hindi merong bakanting lote sa ilog ng tapon ng basura. So, yun yung isa. The other thing is, kahit na mukhang malinis yung tubig, parang walang mga solids. Pero yung water quality ay nag-deteriorate. Para malaman nyo yung pag-degree ng deterioration. kailangan dito ng water quality monitoring. Ang problema, yung pag-monitor niyan, ito ay task supposedly ng government agencies. Kasama dito yung MENRO o yung DENR. Lalo na ngayon sa devolution, it's gonna be more on the local government. Ang problema dyan, dalawa ang aking naobserbahan sa karanasan ko. One is, walang gamit yung local government unit kahit gusto nilang gawin. Pangalawa, hindi sila marunong. Ang isa pang problema dyan kasi, pagpapalit-palit yung mga tao yung sa Environment and Natural Resource Office, you end up na walang may kakayanan na gumawa ng tama ng water quality monitoring. So, yung sa technology side of monitoring, whether water quality natin or not, ay isang area na napapabayaan yan. And so, if I may add more, ang isa pang dapat na nadidevelop natin social technology para ma-mobilize natin ang gusto yung mga mamamayan para dito sa ating problema kinakaroon. Pero we are weak on that. Hindi natin gaano na-mobilize. Hindi tayo nakakapag-develop ng mga akma na social technologies or kung meron mga existing, hindi natin nagagamit para ma-mobilize natin yung ating mga mamamayan.
Hey, sir. So, Joe, thank you so much for that input. Sige, quickly now, let's go to, unahin natin, Sir Jeff ang unang nag-raise ng hand. We have 3. So, well, let us, we'll see later. Fast, quickly lang, Sir Jeff. Yes, sir. 1 minute.
Yes. Okay. Oo. Yung sa challenges na pinost ni Sir Heidi, ni Sir Heidi. Sorry, ni Mr. Precious. Sorry. Napakagandang tignan yung challenges na yon. And then I think it's about time for us to unify and siguro gumawa tayo ng maliit na award or recognition for us to be able to create huge campaign and strong statement sa ating mga stakeholders, saka concerned government agencies, whether local or national. Siguro it's a united effort of recognizing the efforts of everyone. Since sabi nga ni Sir Lou, we have 65 groups na. They have 65 groups na. And we have Masungi here. We have Aksyong Kalikasan. Siguro maybe it's about time na i-recognize natin ang sarili natin. Hindi lang natin to gagawin kasi gusto nating i-recognize. Kung hindi, gusto nating gumawa ng malaking impact at gusto nating mag-send ng strong statement sa mga sa stakeholders natin at sa government agencies natin na tayo ay nag-i-exist at tayo ay gumagawa ng maraming paraan para isalba at protektahan ang ating kalikasan. Yun lang po.
All right, thank you. Quickly now to Sir Farmer John.
Okay, magandang tanghali at pagbati sa Manila Bay Congress. Ang tanong ko lang at concern ay tungkol dun sa Upper Marikina Watershed. Isa akong farmer at nag-i-input sa agroecology. Malaki ang usapin sa issue din ng produksyon ng pagkain, kalinsabay ng pangangalaga natin ng kalikasan. At nakita natin sa mga nakalipas na mga proyekto ng DNR na kung konsepto lamang ng konserbasyon at hindi natututukan yung usapin ng produksyon ng pagkain lalo higit ng mga major stakeholder na nasa area ay hindi nagiging matagumpay ang isang conservation effort. May mga bagong input ngayon sa pangalaga ng kalikasan katulad ng pagkain gubat na kasabay na itinatanim ang mga pagkain ay pinapangalagaan din natin ang kalikasan at ano na ang ating narating dito at siguro ay magandang tingnan ito na isang Kalikasan watershed ay pinanggagalingan din ng pagkain ng madaling pagkunan ng pagkain ng mga nasa kalunsuran, isang accessible na lugar para sa sustainability at sustainable development din natin, food security, lalo tigit sa panahon ng klima. Magandang makita ito at yan ay mga pamamaraan na dito. So ang tanong ko ngayon ay ano na yung ating naabot dito at kung mahina pa dito, siguro ito yung magandang tutukan sa mga darating mga panahon. Maraming salamat.
Okay, sino pong sasagot dyan sa ating tatlong resource speakers?
Gusto ko sumagot. Ang isa dyan, palagay ko kasi yung Department of Agriculture, yung issue, yung food sufficiency. Department of Agriculture yun. So, hindi siya talaga DNR. Pero yung conservation ng environment is DNR. So, yung problem is somewhere in between. And kung yung Department of Agriculture at yung DNR ay hindi nagkikita, hindi nag-uusap, hindi nag-collaborate, yun yung problema. And I'm not sure kung nagko-coordinate ba ang DNR at Department of Agriculture dito sa bagay na ito. Supposedly, they should be, pero in actual, parang hindi ko nakikita yung manifestation ng pag-uusap na. So yun palagay ko yung isang area na where the civil society or can pitch in, can come in. Siguro ito yung for action Kalikasan para to invite both the parties, DNR, para doon sa connection mo sa concern mo. So that's what that's my
Thank you, sir. So we don't have time actually. So quickly, sir Lou, are you going to add something? Tapos mamaya, we can our speakers can answer through chat. May mga reactions din dyan, please check on the chat. So we have yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir Lou.
Okay, sa previous question, no, may kausap po kami, kasali po sa coalition namin, yung pangalan ng organisasyon ay Center for Conservation Innovations. Ngayon, yung kausap namin sila, they are in the process of developing forest products. Pero as usual, umpisa pa lang usapan ito. So hindi pa siya na-implement, pero pinag-uusapan na po namin. We hope to implement in the near future.
Oh, thank you, sir. So that's about it. It's a wrap for our unang. Si ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes po, ma'am Ruth, ma'am Russell. Yes, sir.
Yeah, pag pinag-uusapan natin yung usapang taking care of our watershed, napakalaking usapin po yan. Kagaya na lang po ng pinag-uusapan natin na magkadugtong-dugtong or interconnected, multi-sectoral, at intergenerational pa nga na usapin ng issue ng Manila Bay. So dito sa Upper Marikina Watershed, kung saan yung Masungiji Reserve ay nag-i-enforce ng legislation katulad na lang ng NIPAS or even since we are a sanctuary, so nag-i-enforce po kami. May mga forest rangers po kami on the ground. And as part of our community development effort, we're also in coordination with the indigenous communities here, mga dumagat natin dito sa Rizal, to develop forest products also and other ways that they can strengthen their forest ventures. So party po siya ng community development, but also it still is part of the efforts of Masungi to also raise awareness. So education siya, community empowerment and development. So pagtatapos lang, if you want to learn more about this, kasi kulang talaga yung oras natin para i-explain lahat ng ating efforts on the ground dito, learn from each other, you can connect to Masungiji Reserve through the Facebook pages I posted earlier or sa Masungiji Reserve. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Russell, Sir Lou, Sir Chot. And now, wala tayong oras, isegue ko na kay Sir David para sa kasunod natin.
Una po, maraming salamat sa ating mga speakers for today, kay Sir Chot ng Action Kalikasan, kay Sir Luge Puela ng Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition, and of course kay Russell Morales ng Masungi Geo Reserve. And also we would like to apologize to some of those who had been asking questions kasi talaga namang very limited din po ang time natin. So you can ask your questions via the chat and our speakers could answer the questions as well. Now let's proceed to our next speaker. Let me just share my screen. Our next speaker is from the Department of Environment and Natural Resources to talk about the current government program and efforts responding to environmental circumstances in the Manila Bay region. May we present Ms. Heidi D. Pabalate, the DENR Focal Point MBS CMO Manila Bay Site Coordinating Management Office.
So, isang makakalikasan po sa ating lahat. Thank you for inviting the ENR, no? Green Party of the Philippines, no? Thank you for organizing this particular event. I hope malinaw ang aking audio.
Yes, ma'am. Loud and clear.
All right. Sige po. It appears that early part of this activity, nag-present yung mga kasama natin, no? Yung patungkol sa efforts pagdating sa Upper Marikina, and of course yung ating Masungi Reserve as part of the protected landscape, and yung kanilang interconnectivity, no, pagdating sa amin kasi ang nasa lower part, which is yung NCR, no, pagdating sa Lower Marikina, and of course si Sir Chat Velasquez po, no, thank you for identifying yung challenges. Very clear na i-present po ninyo sa grupong ito ngayong umaga na there's still concerns pagdating sa awareness of the programs of the government, as well as the importance of giving or incentivizing yung ating mga partners or mga NGOs who are working real hard pagdating dun sa kanilang efforts pagdating dito sa ginagawa nating rehabilitation for Manila Bay. And of course, yung sinasabi nga ni Sir Chot na efforts na fragmented, no? So this morning, I would like to, and I hope na somehow I will be able to shed light to some of your questions, because it appears that most of your questions leads to concerns of DNR. And again, I for one, since ang sinasabi nga natin for itong inorganized ng Green Party Philippines is for the Manila Bay Region Kalikasan Muna Congress, no, I'm really sorry, but part of my presentation focuses on NCR, considering that I'm one of the 3 regions, no, trying to implement programs pagdating po sa Manila Bay. So just for the information of the body, yung nabanggit rin yan kanina ni Sir Lou, that we have this particular agency who is overlooking on the implementation of various agencies which concerns on Manila Bay. We have the central office, no? So kami may mga regions po tayo. So I belong to NCR. So most of my presentation will be focusing on the efforts of the region, as well as some general background of the Manila Bay. So please allow me to share my screen. All right. Okay, no? Again, isang makakalikasang umaga po sa ating lahat, no? I'll be presenting yung effort ng ating DNR Regional Office pertaining to the Manila Bay Rehabilitation Program. So as an outline of this presentation, of course, just a brief background of the Manila Bay, and of course, the Supreme Court Mandamus Order, which we have been trying to discuss very lengthily kaninang umaga, no? Ngayong umaga. And of course, yung ating Administrative Order number 16, which was passed in 2019, and then the phases of the Manila Bay rehabilitation, as well as our efforts, no, in the Manila Bay rehabilitation. This in particular is in NCR. So for the Manila Bay, yes, as mentioned a while ago, no, this is a large inlet located at the southwest portion of Luzon Island, facing South China Sea. No, so in terms of the surface area, it has 1,800 square kilometers. So for the entire coastline of the Manila Bay region, this is about 190 kilometers. No, for NCR alone, roughly this is about 60 kilometers. No, so again, as I have mentioned, the Manila Bay region covers 3 regions, no? So Region 3, the 4A, which is the Calabar zone, and then the National Capital Region. So given this region's river systems and watersheds empty out, no, to Manila Bay. So yun yung connectivity natin, no, dung tatlong regions pong yan. So in general, of course, the Manila Bay provides economic, sociocultural, political, and environmental services. So there's a wide array of services that this Manila Bay is providing to the citizenry. So for NCR in particular, of course, for ease of management, we have identified 3 major river systems. First is the Manaturi River System, which covers the 5 LGUs on the northern part of the NCR, which comprise of the following LGUs, such as the Caloocan, Malabon, Navotas, Valenzuela, and Quezon City, which had a stretch of 27 kilometers. And of course, in the mid part of this NCR, you will see our Pamarisan River System. Na andyan naman po yung Pasig, Marikina, San Juan, Mandaluyong, QC, Pateros, Taguig, Makati, and Manila. And then of course, on the southern part is yung ating tinatawag na Monteparles Pasap River System, which is covers the LGUs of Muntinlupa, Parañaque, Las Piñas, Pasay, Manila, Taguig, and Makati. So yan po yung ating river system wherein we are made it possible to have concerted effort made to ensure yung focus na implementation po ng programs natin, no. Gaya nga nung sinabi kanina, ano ba yung itsura ng Manila Bay? So this is just a portion of Manila Bay, located ito sa Rojas Boulevard, no. So marami dito, Sir David, no. Marami millennial. So yung kaidara natin. So hindi natin to masyado nakita, no. But then if you will see, pinapakita lang ng mga pictures na to. And this one depicts the current condition of the Manila Bay during this time. So 1960s, 70s, very lush ang ating vegetation at this time. But then if you will notice from this 1990 photo, 2006 and 2008, ito na yung nag-start na nag-build up yung ating mga waste, no? In particular, Siyempre, ito na mga photos na to were taken during yung mga habagat periods, no? So, yun yung sinasabi nating southwest monsoon. So, kapag naman amihan or during summer, itong makikita nyo sa lower right portion of your screen is itong photo taken in 2018, malapit yan sa may US Embassy. So, ganyan naman po ang kondisyon ng ating Rojas Boulevard during summer period, no? Of course, mapapansin nyo, bakit during the habagat, there's factor of yung sinasabi nating hydrological pattern as well as the wind, which brings this solid waste towards the shore or coastline po ng Manila Bay, in particular sa Rojas Boulevard. So again, ano ba yung Supreme Court Mandamus Order, no? Ano ba yung desisyon na ibinigay sa atin? So nung 2008, nagkaroon po ng Mandamus ruling ang Supreme Court. This provides us or orders yung Mandamus agencies to clean up, rehabilitate, and preserve Manila Bay and restore and maintain its water to Class B SB level. So pagdating po kasi sa DNR, meron po tayong sinasabi na water standard or classification ng ating katubigan. So yung standard na sinasabing SB level requires us to make it fit for swimming, skin diving, and other forms of contact recreation. So that is the ruling, no? So sino-sino po ba yung binigyan ng order? So sinasabi, we have these 13 Mandamus agencies. This comprise of the MMDA, DENR, DepEd, DOH, of course, the DA, kasama ang BIFAR and BSWM, DPWH, DPM, PCG, PNP Maritime Group, the DILG, that covers the local government units, the Philippine Ports Authority, and of course the MWSS for this is in particular in NCR, together with our concessionaires, which is the Maynilad and the Manila Water. And then of course, the Local Water Utilities Administration or LUWA, yan naman po ay for Regions 3 and 4A. So in particular po, ano bang sinasabi ng mandato, no? Yung order po kasi ng Supreme Court sinasabi mandamus agencies. So these agencies are identified that their mandates are crucial in the implementation and implementation of the Manila Bay, ano po. Kaya we are working on these mandates, no? So sinasabi rin for DNR in particular, medyo mahaba po kasi, so that's why I focus on the DNR alone. So we are here to fully implement yung ating operational plan for the Manila Bay Coastal Strategies. So ito po yung OPMBCS, no? So ito pong OPMBCS contains the specific actions, no, programs and projects that would help realize the stakeholders' shared vision for Manila Bay and court's order of cleaning up, rehabilitating, and restoring the base water to SB class. So ang content po ng ating OPMBCS tries to address yung concerns natin, no, pagdating sa solid, liquid, the informal settlers, and of course to ensure the ecological integrity of the bay, which focuses on the habitat restoration and rehabilitation. And of course, to ensure the implementation of this is yung ating fifth cluster, which is aims to integrate action and mechanism for the implementation of these 4 thematic clusters, no? So aside from that, the DNR is ordered or mandated to call yung regular coordination meetings with the concerned government departments and agencies to ensure that this OPMBCS is fully implemented in accordance with its indicated completion schedule. So again, na-raise na nga po, no, it's been like how many years na po given yung ating mandamus na ibinaba sa atin. That's year 2008, no? So most of us malaliit pa nung panahon na yon, no? But then we can see that despite the efforts that being exerted by all these mandamus agencies, still nakikita pa rin natin, no? Of course, there are various and different issues that we are still facing, no? Given yung ginagawa nating efforts. But then of course, our current president, President Rodrigo Duterte, passed this administrative order in 2019, giving order to expedite yung ating rehabilitation and restoration of the coastal and marine ecosystem of the Manila Bay. And of course, this provides also for the creation of the Manila Bay Task Force. So how do we implement this particular administrative order hand in hand with the existing mandamus ruling, no? This time we have these phases which still captures yung sinasabi nating thematic clusters as indicated in the OPMBCS. The first one is the cleanup and water quality improvement. The second phase covers the rehabilitation and resettlement, and then the third phase is the protection and sustainment. So moving on the phase one, this one focuses on the cleanup of our creeks and steros, and of course with the aim of reducing the fecal coliform level from houses and establishment. So malaki po sa contributory for the degradation of our water quality come from our domestic waste, and of course inspecting and repairing leaks in wait, I think I have to
Yeah, may di nakamute po yata kayo. Yes.
Okay. So sana yung portion na mute. So again, as I was saying, sinasabi natin, how do we implement this, no? NCR, laging sinasabi, we're a unique region which is totally different from the other DNR regional offices, because other offices has this PENRO and CENRO, while the NCR doesn't have one. That's why we have created these 4 field offices by virtue of DNR Administrative Order 2019-02. Here we created 4 field offices, which includes yung ating Manila Bay substations. No? This ensures to and aims to intensify yung activities towards the rehabilitation of major river and tributaries leading to the Manila Bay. So if you will notice po, we have divided it into 4. Like on the north, if you will see on the map, this covers the cities of Caloocan, Malabon, Navotas, Valenzuela. And then east side is Quezon City, Marikina, Pasig City. And then for West Field Office, makikita po natin that covers Manila, San Juan, Mandaluyong, Makati, and Pasay. And then on the southern tip is our South Field Office, which covers Pateros, Taguig, Parañaque, Las Piñas, Muntinlupa. Again, given this order of the President in 2019, we have launched this battle for Manila Bay, wherein different agencies have sinasabing they have solidarity walk towards this implementation and program towards the upliftment and achieving our goal in for Manila Bay, no? So of course, we have also this battle for rivers and steros in March 2019. And of course, hindi naman natin laging kakayanin lahat, no? So we need to see na ano ba yung effort na pwedeng itulong ng ating community, no? So maigi kasi na yung nangangalaga sa komunidad yung naandun sa kanila mismo, no? Parte sila, no? Para merong sense of ownership. That's why we have this deployment of Estero Rangers po ng 2019, and until now po we have this Estero Rangers being deployed on our major tributaries in NCR to help us out in the implementation of programs and ensure the cleanliness and prevent yung dumping of waste dun sa ating mga katubigan. And of course, these are portion or part lang ng mga ginagawa natin na since nabanggit nga ang primary concern natin ngayon talaga yung mga floating or solid waste which is not being collected by our areas na hindi accessible dun sa mga trucks natin. That's why we have this fabrication of waste collector truck which we have turned over dun sa ating mga barangays to facilitate the collection of their waste. No, of course, with the primary goal of ensuring that yung kanilang waste will not end up dun sa ating mga waterways or tributaries. So, of course, we also have yung if you will notice, we have this awarding ceremony. Kanina kasi sinasabi, we have to recognize efforts of our partners who are working real hard pagdating po sa efforts sa improvement ng ating water quality. So last 2020 actually, we have launched this program, Digawat Taga-Ilog, no? Wherein we have identified and the LGUs nominated yung kanilang mga areas with waterways, citing yung kanilang improvement dun sa kanilang katubigan with the efforts of partner agencies, no? So full documentation po yan. That's why nung 2021, nung March, we have this awarding ceremony po na naganap, no? So isa po sa na-identify or nakita natin yung improvement ng water quality is yung sinasabi natin sa may limunan po sa Valenzuela. No? So of course, marami talaga nga tayong concern pagdating sa NCR. Alam po naman natin na medyo malakikipot yung ating mga tributaries dito, but still we have to make our effort para ma-reach natin yung mga tributaries na yan at ma-collect yung ating mga floating garbage. That's why we have fabricated this trash collector raft po. Instead of having yung ating mga boats, no? We have fabricated these wraps which again distributed to identified recipients po sa ating LGUs. And of course, trash traps po, no? Together with the barangays, we have identified areas po of concerns wherein we can install trash traps, no, to prevent po talaga yung pagtuloy-tuloy na daloy ng mga solid waste, no. So in turn naman po yung ating mga recipient barangays are helping us in regularly monitoring and for the hauling po ng mga traps, no, for proper disposal, no. And of course eto meron din tayong mga kasi identified na I wasn't able to attach photos po lang nung sa may Bangkulasi River kung saan mapapansin po natin talaga with the concerted efforts of various agencies po, we were able to remove yung mga vessels po na abandoned along dun sa Bangkulasi. And this one is also along Paranaque River, no, wherein part ng ating rehabilitation, we were able to remove po yung mga floating debris po. So hindi lang yung ating solid waste, but of course yung other obstructions po, no. So this is of course actively participated and with our Centro Paranaque, LGU yan, yung PNP Maritime Group, and of course yung ating DNR NCR Southfield Office. So pagdating naman po sa water quality monitoring, no, lagi nga nating sinasabi, hindi lang yung solid waste, but also we have to look into the water quality of our coastal areas as well as tributaries. So again, for NCR, we have this Environmental Management Bureau, which have established stations, water quality monitoring stations. In fact, from focus areas of beach or bathing areas, we have additional mga established stations po kung mapapansin nyo po. So as to date po, we have 398 water quality monitoring stations, no. Established po yan along major waterways and tributaries in Metro Manila. Ito po regularly monitored po iyan. So makikita nyo po kasi, syempre of course depende sa area and considering also yung condition ngayon with the current COVID, no? So we have established yung ating regular monitoring. So yan po, meron in terms of weekly, meron tayong 7 locations, monthly meron isa, and then may monthly din 11, and then quarterly 6, no? So makikita nyo po sa mapa, ito po yung ating mga stations wherein the EMB have already established their water quality monitoring. Kasi isa rin yan sa tinitingnan natin how effective yung mga efforts na ginagawa natin. So lahat po yan is we are trying to look into para masabi natin kung may mga improvement yung ating mga efforts, yung clean up, yung ating collection ng waste, no, sa ginagawa natin, no. That's why we have established po itong mga stations po natin all over the NCR. So, of course, if you were all aware of the area, yung sinasabi nating Baseco, still we are trying to address yung concern pagdating sa communal, yung kanilang domestic waste. That's why together with MMDA, we are having this project, an ongoing project po ng circumferential sewerage interceptor and communal septic tank po sa may Baseco. So these are some photos of the activities being undertaken by MMDA. But as to the status of this project, roughly they are already 80% completed pagdating dito, no? So moving on the second phase po ng rehabilitation and resettlement, no, sinasabi nga natin part of this second phase of implementation is yung rehabilitation po ng old sewer lines, no. So of course relocation po ng informal settlers. If you will notice, no, together with other shelter agencies, we are
Ito hindi nilagyan to ng cement ng no. Kaya pwede lang natin ganun, tuloy lang. Para lang Kaya lang baka ako hindi na.
Okay, moving on. So as part of mandate of DNR, of course, before they proceed with the relocation of our informal settlers. We are trying to help these agencies to identify the legal easements for major rivers and tributaries. Wherein, eto po, makikita nyo po, this is one of our geodetic engineers doing the drone survey, no? Yung ating drone mapping of legal easements are conducted, of course, to provide a base map that can be utilized for easement recovery along major waterways. No? So part of this activity includes pre-survey, actual drone survey, ground validation, encoding of validated data, preparation of maps, as well as the terminal report. So as of this, for this year alone, we have already accomplished 7 major waterways, no, with drone and ground survey, wherein a total of 253 land records were gathered from various sources, no. So yun po yung mga tinitingnan natin to compare yung sinasabi nating easement that serves as our reference in the preparation of maps po for legal easement. Okay, some photos po pa rin ng activities na ginagawa natin, no. So of course, gaya ng nasabi kanina, we have this concerted effort naman po to address concerns pagdating sa Marikina. Pagdating dito, sinasabi nga that we have this recently passed task force Build Back Better verbiage of Executive Order 120, no, wherein yan nga sinasabi, no, we really have to address concerns po pagdating dito. Kasi kami ang recipient, kasi kami yung nasa lower side ng Marikina, no. Sinasabi ni Ma'am Razel that they are continuously working on the reforestation to ensure that damage or less damage will be given to the lower portion of the Marikina, no. So of course we are also working with other agencies to have yung resolve yung flooding po along the Marikina River, no. So part of the activities being we've been working on with DPWH and other agencies po. And of course, with our aim of facilitating the relocation of ISF, this is in particular in Parola and Baseco, we have this tagging and census validation, which was already conducted by the National Housing Authority po, no, for affected na ISF po dito. So on the third phase, which is the protection and sustainment, of course, this concerns yung continuing environmental education of citizens, no, to protect against sustained law enforcement and monitoring, and of course, fast-tracking yung early completion of sewage system. Kung mapapansin po natin, no, since atong pumasok yung pandemic, we are working on the continuous conduct of lecture and flora, no, fora, no, via online platform. Kung mapapansin nyo po, we have already conducted 104 lectures po, no. This is for this year alone, ano po. So primarily, this covers yung lectures on Manila Bay Rehabilitation Program, yung ating Solid Waste Management Act, yung ating Clean Air, as well as the Environmental Impact Assessment and Climate Change. So normally, we involve the participation of academies po, residents within the barangay and other officials po, no, along and other stakeholders, along waterways and other stakeholders, we have their involvement on these particular activities. Of course, we're still banking on the use of social media and photo releases and other infographics po to share yung efforts ng DENR pagdating doon sa ginagawa nating rehabilitation. And of course, yung campaign para sa coordinative and collaborative efforts pagdating dito sa Manila Bay. Together with that, third phase is yung ating sinasabing rehabilitation and stabilization through greening. So part of our activities is, of course, we are trying to maintain the stabilization of our stream banks by planting beach and mangrove species in our areas. Like this one is, as shown in the photo, is in Baseco Lagoon, areas in Marikina River, Tanza, and other parts of NCR po, no? So as part of the phytobioremediation technology to enhance lagoon, we have actually developed Baseco Lagoon po. Actually, this is a model area wherein we are trying to look dun tawag dito, trying to highlight yung ating effort pagdating dito sa rehabilitation. I wasn't able to attach a photo of the actual picture of the Baseco Lagoon before we have our effort, but then I'm telling you po, yung Baseco Lagoon po at the time is you won't be able to see any water nung panahon pong yon, no? So full of garbage, you can actually walk on it, but then of course together with MMD and other agencies po, we were able to remove all the floating garbage and restore its area, no? We're in
Ba? Bago yun. Anong ba? Ganyan ang bago.
Okay, no, you will see yung effort natin dyan, no? So this is our study area wherein we introduce naman po yung ating mga mangrove species. So along the stretch going there pa is makikita nyo Aplaya, we are still working on the planting of other beach type species po to restore yung ating coastal area pagdating dito, no? Okay. So ayan, I think bumalik lang. So, other partnerships. Okay. So, meron kaming partnership with UP Diliman for IM for Manila Bay. This is an integrated mapping, monitoring, modeling, and management system for Manila Bay and lake environments, which aims decision makers in crafting policies in the rehabilitation of Manila Bay. This is an academe wherein we are working on the modeling to do the analysis of the current situation we are in pagdating sa Manila Bay. And of course, with PEMC po for the conduct of policies and regulations at the national level and facilitate actions at the local levels to reduce yung plastic waste in the Philippines. With climate change services and MDCO, which is the central office, we are working on the conduct of social behavioral communication survey po, no? This covers the 3 regions in the Manila Bay. This group trying to assess the level of awareness in terms of the project as well as the behavioral change po, no? So likewise, we have already, this is also yung Project eSmart is also part of the IM for Manila Bay, wherein we have provided them the data sets on ecosystem modeling, no? Wherein, yun nga sinabi ko that they are trying to use our data to analyze the current situation we're in for possible identification of intervention pagdating sa Manila Bay. And of course, recently partner with IPM Best, which is yung Trash to Cashback program, wherein this encouraged by incentivizing the community through proper solid waste management and segregation at source. In turn, they are given a corresponding point wherein they can utilize it with other partner merchants of the IPM or the Trash to Cashback program po ng IPM Best. So there is so much program that we are working on pagdating sa DNR. Alam ko ganun din for regions 3 and 4A, no? But then of course I wasn't able to capture it. Maybe in another venue we can invite them to present the holistic approach on how we are working together with the implementation of the Manila Bay Rehabilitation Program. Again, for other inquiries, you may reach us through these numbers and email ads for additional clarification or comments pagdating po sa implementation ng Manila Bay. So sa muli po, marami pong salamat sa inyo and good morning.
Thank you, Ma'am Heidi. I hope you can indulge us for a few questions. Would that be
yes,
okay?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, let's proceed with the open forum. I think first question, there's someone who is raising his hand, Sir Larry. Sir Larry? Andyan pa po ba kayo?
Kumusta po?
Hello po.
Hello po, andito po ako sa Birdland.
Yes, may question po kayo para kay Ma'am Heidi.
Opo,
Chairman.
napakaganda ng presentation. Happy po ba kayo lahat sa kung bakit it seems so positive but we are in the climate crisis. Parang may disconnect po yung DNR because the presentation is nice, all the words are good, and yet we are in climate environmental crisis. May parang disconnect, ma'am, na nakikita ko. And why is that? Nag-kwam lang tayo? Naglalaro lang tayo? Or are we serious? Dapat ang inaasahan ko, the situation is very bad. The presentation should also be about what talagang delikado na ito, masama na ito. Ganun. Anyway, thank you. That's my comment. Parang sanitize yung presentation.
Maraming salamat, Sir Larry. Pero I think in my personal opinion din naman, no, at least on my end, no, nakita ko na hindi lang pala yung pagpapaganda ng beach ang meron. Kasi hindi ko alam itong mga sinabi ni Ma'am Heidi. So I am a bit enlightened na mayroon pala talagang ibang ginagawa, and thank you for that. So Ma'am Heidi, would you like to answer the question?
Yes, like a straight question, how much have you used already? How much fund for all of that? And we will match kung magkano na yung nagastos nyo at saka magkano na yung, ilan na yung accomplishment. Kasi it's, we can spend a lot of money in the presentation, in the photos and all of that, and yet we are still in environmental crisis.
Yeah. Sir Larry, thank you very much for that question. No? Again, talagang it's really sad to see that despite these efforts that I have presented to you with this group, na marami pa rin tayong kinakaharap na concerns pagdating sa Manila Bay. No, actually, it's not only for Manila Bay, but rather yung entirety ng ating environment. No, so first, hindi ko mabigay sa iyo yung actual cost. I wasn't able to prepare for that figure, no? But then, isa lang ang maibibigay ko lang po, no? This is just a portion of the activities that we are trying to look into or we are trying to implement pagdating sa DNR. But then, of course, lagi nga nating sinasabi, this is not a one-man team, no? Pagdating po sa effort, no? Yan ay sinasabi natin, we need yung collaborative and concerted effort para po ma-ensure po yung full natin na goal to have yung stability ng ating environment. For this morning presentation, I was just asked to present po kasi yung program ng DNR as well as the efforts, no? Other than that, maybe we can look into yung other way on discussing yung concern po ninyo, Sir Larry. Thank you po.
Thank you, Ma'am Heidi. And I think, medyo masalimuot din ang problema talaga ang kalikasan. And I believe we all have to help the DENR, no? Kasi tulungan talaga to. Ma'am, Dr. Rosemary Mendoza, you're raising your hand.
Yes, good morning, David. And I would like to thank our very esteemed speaker, Ma'am Heidi, dun sa napaka-clear na perspective ng DNR. And what I can say is just a comment on this because this problem has been chronic and this had been existing before us. So I think it's my obligation to thank the DENR for this tremendous effort that they are actually exerting for the preservation of the environment. And what I can say is that with respect to the accounting of these projects, the government initiatives, and everything, all we need to do as Filipino citizens is to help. Kasi may gumagawa naman ng accounting na ito. How much did you achieve with respect to your plans? What are the project progress? And what are the updates of this project? So what I can say is that I think tayong mga members ng GPP and all the advocates of the environment must just hold our hands together to help the government in implementing these projects and help them achieve greater heights for each project. So para sa akin, this is not a question but rather a comment. And basically in general, I am actually applauding DENR for this particular initiative for the environment. And I hope that somehow ako as an individual citizen can also contribute to this effort of the government. And again, thank you, Ms. Heidi, for a very good and informative talk about the efforts and the initiatives of the DENR, which made us aware of how much more can we help yung initiatives niya. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Dr. Rosemary Mendoza. We have another raise of hand from Sir Jeb Ramos. Sir Jeb. Sir Jeb?
Ay, hello. Sorry. Okay. Again, ako din nagpapasalamat ng taos-puso sa kay Ma'am Heidi sa malinaw na presentasyon. Siguro ang kulang lang talaga dito, bagamat syempre lahat tayo ay nag-exert ng effort dahil ramdam natin ang kailangan pangangalaga ng ating kalikasan. Siguro yung yung magkaalaman tayo ng ano ang ginagawa ng bawat isa. Siguro isa yun sa mga kailangan nating gawin, yung magkaroon ng tulay sa pagitan ng isa't isa. At siguro, syempre, sasabihin natin na hindi kompleto at hindi konkreto pa ang mga isinasagawang mga pagtugon ng DNR. Syempre tayo din sa community efforts, hindi pa rin natin talaga natutugunan ng bilang pangkalahatan yung pangangailangan ng ating kapaligiran. Pero ang importante dito, gumagawa tayo ng hakbang, nakakagawa tayo at tinutugunan natin yung pangangailangan at yung mandato, especially sa grupo nila Ma'am Heidi. Tinutugunan nila ang kanilang mandato na inaatas sa kanila. Again, siguro bagamat sinasabi natin na nakikita natin at hand na may malaking problema at sinasabi ni Ma'am Heidi na ito ang kanilang mga efforts, kanilang programa, but still sabi nga ni Sir kanina, may disconnect. Siguro ang isang importante dyan, malaman natin una ano yung ginagawa ng bawat isa. At siguro hindi tayo nandito para hanapin yung pagkukulang. Personal na opinion ko ito. Kundi nandito tayo para punan kung ano man ang nakikita nating pagkukulang sa bawat isa. Bagamat, syempre sa DNR, sila ang nasa una, kumbaga frontliners na dapat tumugon sa ganitong mga sitwasyon. At bagamat sa perspektiba ng iba, may pagkukulang talaga. Yes, at sinasabi naman ni Ma'am Heidi, siguro naman sasang-ayon naman sa akin si Ma'am Heidi na hindi pa ito yung konkretong paraan para matugunan natin ang problemang ito kasi since time immemorial, matagal na at malaki na ang naging epekto nito sa ating pamumuhay, sa ating kalikasan at sa marami pang iba. Bagamat muli pinapasalamatan natin ang bawat isa pero at the end parang lahat tayo may pagkukulang pa rin at lahat tayo may mga efforts pa rin na dapat gawin patungkol sa kalikasan. At ito yung kaya tayo nandito para una, tignan natin yung best practices ng bawat isa at kung ano yung pwede nating gawing example, ehemplo at maging batayan ng ating mga efforts para sa mga susunod nating gawain. Ang importante, ngayon naririnig natin ang bawat isa at nasasabi natin na sandali, nakakalimutan natin ito, sandali, maganda ito, etc. etc. Yun po. Siguro lang at the end, yung hindi ko alam kung may time pa tayo, yung pagkakataon na mabigyan natin sa Ma'am Heidi ng ano yung mga susunod na hakbangin ng DNR sa ganitong pagkakataon na marami ang nakalatag at sabi nga ni Sir kanina, malaki pa rin ang problema natin pagdating sa pangangalaga ng ating kalikasan.
Thank you very much, Jeff Ramos. Before we go to the raise hands question, I would also like to ask the questions from the chat earlier from Sir Andrew Cesar Rimando. Sabi niya, Ma'am Heidi, do you think that it is right that we should have legislation on the ban of the use of single-use plastics, like what is being done in India, so that we will no longer be the top 3 ocean polluter in the world? collection and cleanup are considered cures, but prevention is always better. Yan po. From Andrew Cesar Rimando.
Okay, pagdating po kasi sa single-use plastic, no, meron po ding mga efforts and study na ginagawa po ang departamento, in particular po yung central office, no. Of course, they're trying to balance po yung use and at the same time yung ating effect niya sa environment, no. Rest assured naman po that our concerns pagdating po dito, as nakikita talaga naman natin, no, if you agree with me, karamihan po sa inyo ay nakapag-participate na po sa mga cleaning activities po natin. And if you will notice, marami po talaga tayong nakita at nadampot na mga single-use plastics. No? So definitely po, it's still being looked into and being well studied by the central office of ours para to address po yung concerns natin pagdating sa single-use plastic.
Thank you, Ma'am Heidi. We have last 3 questions. Unahin natin yung naka-raise ng hand. Sir Chot from Action Kalikasan.
Yes, Ma'am Heidi, no? Marami akong gusto sanang sabihin kaya alam ba hindi tayo matapos na Heidi mag-alas 12 na. Ito na lang yung gusto kong itanong. Kasi 'di ba ini-implement na yung devolution ng powers ng national government agencies. Yeah, I don't know if you're in the position to answer this, pero siguro kahit sa personal na knowledge mo or opinion, how do you think the devolution will affect yung DENR, no, in terms of implementation ng Manila Bay cleanup?
In terms of devolution, for me, no, nakikita ko kasi naman that our local governments are already equipped, no, equipped in terms of technical people as well as the corresponding budget. Pagdating naman po sa sinasabi natin na how are they going to carry on with like yung na-mention nyo po, I think may naka-mention po kasi kanina, no, like for instance yung doing the water quality. Even before this devolution po, we are working on the provision po ng technical assistance as well as trainings on how are they going to do the implementation of for instance yung ating water quality monitoring po, no. For NCR alone po kasi during May time being here in Manila Bay po, no, nakita ko kasi that there are LGUs talaga that they are really pursuing na they'll be equipped with their corresponding mga technical people in doing their own monitoring po, no. For one po, may mga LGUs po kasi talaga na isinasama po nila sa kanilang budget or fund yung acquire or pag-procure ng mga equipment pagdating sa basic monitoring po ng water quality or water checker po, no. So in response to that po, tayo naman with DNR, very active po talaga yung LGUs po natin for NCR, no. Ako, I can say that for as part ng Manila Bay region, no, they are really working hard in doing and establishing yung kanilang monitoring system, no. Hindi lang pagdating sa water quality as well as in doing the monitoring po ng solid waste. In fact, given the status po ng solid waste management plan as mandated po nung ating RA 9003, yung NCR po have yung full sila po yung LGUs natin na merong naipasa na sila na kanya-kanyang solid waste management plan, ano ho, at ito po yung nagiging batayan nila in terms of their implementation. With other corresponding ordinances, they are actually doing their implementation with the corresponding support naman po from each barangays po na kasama po nila, no. So I think on the part po ng government, makakatulong po tayo in terms of doing the monitoring po pagdating dito sa implementation ng mga programs or projects na naibaba po sa ating mga local government units, and at the same time yung continuous po na assistance na pwede natin pong ibigay sa kanila. Yan lang po, Sir Choi. And sana ma-meet kita, Sir Chot Velasquez.
Thank you, Ma'am Heidi.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
know, yeah.
One of these days, no.
Yeah, kasi marami kaming partnership with PUP po.
Yes, I'm from PUP, and
Ah.
actually marami naman akong kakilala sa DENR. We were
Mhm.
for DNR for quite some time.
Yeah, yeah. I hope to meet you. Yeah. Thank you, Sir Trot.
Thank you, Sir Chot and Ma'am Heidi. I know marami pa po kayong questions, pero syempre, lunchtime na. So we will entertain one last question, commentary from Sir Lou Gepela of the Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition.
Hi ma'am, good noon. Sakto. May batas po tayo, RA 9418, the Volunteer Act of 2007. Sabi dito sa Section 12C, national government agencies and LGUs shall establish volunteer programs in their respective offices. So yung tanong ko po, sa DENR, NCR, sa pagkaalam po ninyo, ano po yung mga volunteer programs na pwede pong pasukin ng taong bayan para makatulong sa DENR, NCR?
Well, actually, sir, napakadami pong volunteer programs sa pwedeng pasukan ng taong bayan. No? Ang sinasabi na nga lang, ano bang gusto mong tulungan? Paano mo ba gustong tumulong? No? Kasi for one, unang-una, in doing yung monitoring po to ensure yung cleanliness ng ating mga katubigan, no? Ikaw bilang mamayan, kaya mong magbigay ng information do sa mga offices natin, gaya ng nasabi natin, no? Sir Lou, yung volunteer program, no? Pero thank you for giving me that information. Kasi nabanggit ko kanina, we have these 4 field offices who are actually scattered and formed into clusters to ensure na talagang on the ground visible po ang DNR. Together with them, kasama nila yung ating mga sinasabi kong estero rangers, no? So in terms of volunteer programs, napakadami po, no? Unang-una is for us to have yung monitoring na yung at least yung kapitbahay natin or ano natin, no, ma-ensure na they are doing the proper segregation, na they are doing yung tamang pagtatapon, no? O baka naman may mga nakikita naman tayo na yung pollution, unang-una meron diyan yung simpleng burning na nga lang, sir, 'di ba? If you will notice, kahit nasa Metro Manila tayo, akala ko noon, kasi pasensya na po sa lahat, probinsya na po ito, no? So akala ko sa probinsya lang maraming nagsisiga, no? Mas marami pala dito sa Quezon City. Actually, marami pala dito sa NCR, no, in particular. No, so those are basic na pwede nating pasukan to ensure yung yung maayos na ating hangin, no? Napakadami po, sir, eh, no? So yung pagiging parte sa monitoring natin, sa pakikiisa sa pagpapalaganap ng ating mga programa, pakikipagtulungan sa atin, yan ay isa at mga basic po actually na pwede po natin talagang magampanan bilang isang mamamayan. Actually, yung na-raise po kanina dito about sa banning ng single-use plastic, even without the legislation po, I think, bawat isa po sa atin, we can already ban it. 'Di ba? We are already implementing and promoting the use of our eco bags, no, rather than using the plastics, 'di ba? Pag namamalengke tayo, pag nag-groceries tayo, and of course to bring our mismong mga lagayan para doon na lang direkta ilalagay yung mga pinamili nating mga meat or mga isda, 'di ba? Those are small things that I think kung ang bawat isa will be trying to do it na sama-sama, will be lessing more yung need for the plastic, yung proliferation niya that we see floating do sa ating tributaries. Those are simple things that I think we can have yung napakalaking impact po pagdating sa environment. Thank you po, sir. Yeah, tama yun. Nakita ko dito yung 3-in-1. Ayan, isa po yan. Kasi nga po tayo ay isang sachet economy na to make it available to everybody. Lahat po, ultimo ketchup, toyo, nasa maliliit na sachet.
Thank you, Ma'am Heidi. Maraming salamat. Actually po, the main reason for having the Manila Bay Region Kalikasan Muna Congress is to know the solutions, no? And then tomorrow nga, we would like to draw up possible policies and other solutions so that we can help the DENR. Kasi unlike other political parties, the Green Party of the Philippines and other NGOs, we are for helping, no? Not personality politics ito. We're trying to help the DENR and the government. Ano ba yung pwede namin maitulong? Kasi di ba it's about time that we ask, how can we help, no? Huwag na tayong maghintay na, alam mo yan, tawagin mo tayo ng DENR na kailangan ng tulong. Gumawa na tayo ng paraan. That's why we are very thankful na in the nick of time, the DENR answered our request to have a speaker from the DENR. Because if not, if without the DENR, of course, this Kalikasan muna Congress will be incomplete. So maraming salamat, ma'am. I will not prolong you because it's already 12 noon. So thank you everyone for attending our half day ng unang araw natin. Meron pa po tayo mamayang hapon. We will resume at 1:30 p.m. And our topic naman will be the solutions from the business sector. We have the Birdland Care Commune and the Carbon Cutter Project, and solutions also from the NGO sector. So kompleto po ito. Ang problema, statement of the problem, solutions from the government, solutions from the business sector, and solutions from the non-governmental sector. So maraming salamat po. Magandang umaga. Kayo ng lahat and have a great lunch. Sana pwedeng magpasend ng lunch sa sa virtually. Thank you everyone. Thank you Ma'am Heidi. Maraming po salamat. And see you again later this afternoon at 1:30 p.m. Salamat po. Pwede po kayo wag na umalis sa Zoom. Yung mga gustong magstay, pwede po naman kayong wag na umalis sa Zoom. The Zoom meeting will remain open and then we'll resume later on. Thank you very much. Tanghalian po muna tayo. See you later this afternoon. Thank you.